Welcome everybody, this is Instructor Lee, and today we are going to be talking about the infamous case brief. Yeah, ooh, it's scary. It is kind of scary. I still remember doing my first one, and I still kind of get scared when I have to do them now. But it's not a big deal. Think of a case brief as detailed notes. Now, there's lots of different types of case briefs that you'll be doing. For the purpose of this video, and for all my lower division classes, 100, 200, and 300 level classes, think of it as just case notes, so detailed notes. Now, you might be tasked in the real world of doing a case brief for a supervising attorney to help him out with his case. But every attorney does it different. So you'll do it in school, you'll do it one way. Out in the real world, you might do it another way. And if you get another employer, or if you work for the government as a prosecutor, you might do it a completely different way. So there's different ways of doing case briefs. So don't get the format all mixed up in your head. It's not a very big deal as far as formatting goes and how you actually do it. But there's certain aspects that you need to put in every case brief, and that's what we're going to talk about today. So let's jump right in and start. So where am I here? Oop. Okay, so the first one, whoops. Okay, so the first one is your case caption, or what is it? Whoa, I can't spell today. Citation. And it's a little thing. There we go. Let's make it a little bigger. Okay, so it's your citation. These are all the citations that I've been kind of harping on you to do if you've had me in your classes before. The ALWD and Blue Book citations. That's what you need to actually put right here. So what is a case citation? Well, a case citation, which we'll go over in an ALWD and Blue Book video, so please refer to those videos. You'll include the name of the case, the published sources the case can be found, which court actually issued the decision, and the year the decision was issued. Why is this important? Well, this is, when you brief this case, this is the information that you had. So if it comes down to it and you might have done it wrong, well, you could look it up and say, no, I did it at this date and time, this case, this is what the decision was, and which they can change from time to time depending on what case you're citing. It's also, you can refer back to the citation on where you found it. So if you have questions, you could say, okay, well, instead of me spending hours on LexisNexis or Westlaw trying to figure out where I found this stupid thing, I already know exactly where it's at. So you just plug in the citation and boom, there you have it. Okay, so you have your citation. That's always up on top. Number 2, change it to red here. 2 is names. Ooh, is your name? No, it's not your name. These are going to be the plaintiff and the defendant. Every case has a plaintiff and every case has a defendant. So you put the plaintiff first, and then underneath you put the defendant, right? Some people do it side by side. As long as you mention the plaintiff and the defendant, you'll be fine. I simply just don't care. As long as you can recognize who the plaintiff is and who the defendant is, you'll be fine. Once again, this is your notes, and this is something that you should always keep to be able to refer back to, just in case you need it. So all the case briefs that you'll do here in school, you might as well just keep them because you might need them actually out in the real world, since we're going to be briefing real cases. Now, what's the third one? Well, the third are facts. Now, what are the facts? Well, it's the facts that matter. So the legal facts. Now, when you read a case, they're going to be full of just all sorts of just weird words and just a bunch of, I won't say that. Just a bunch of baloney. Not baloney, just a bunch of, what's a good word for it? Not useless facts, bunch of useless information. Oh, let's just say it. There's a bunch of useless information that's in the case briefs, and you really don't need all that. So list the facts that are most important to the case, what you're trying to actually discover. So list those facts. Okay, the next one, I'll do it in green again. So if there's 2 or 3 facts, then list all the facts that you could find. Don't just put one fact, and do it in paragraph form. That should always be in paragraph form. So next one is going to be history. So this is going to be the I can't write and talk at the same time. Okay, so this is the history. This is a procedural history. So how did this case actually end up where it's at today? What happened in the lower courts? What happened in the initial trial court? What happened in the evidentiary hearing? You could list all that in actually the history section. Now, when you write a case brief, put history. All right, that's your section. So put an actual title at history, and then start your paragraph right here, and just write. Same thing with facts. So you put facts of the case, and then write, if that makes sense. If this is confusing, please tell me, and then I'll fix this video, because I know sometimes it is. So history of the procedural, this is a procedural history, how the case actually came to be. 5. Man, we're moving on to 5. Yeah, 5 is the issue. Oh, we already did that. 5 is the oh yeah, issues. Sorry, got a little confused with my notes there. These are the issues. Boy, it's a little hard to write on this thing. That's okay. You get the point. Okay, so 5 are the issues. What are the issues? Why? What is the case? What is this case deciding? Now, this is where it's important. Now, a lot of cases, so you have all the history, you have all the facts. Now, you might have one issue, or you might have 2 issues, or you might have 3 issues. It all depends. So you actually write out each issue and put it in. You could put it in number format to make it easier. So issue number 1 is this. Issue number 2 is, was my client read Miranda? Something like that. And you could have 3, 4, 5 issues, whatever. But so list all the issues out in the case. Okay, 6. I don't know why I put that little parenthesis thing. 6 is going to be your holding. Holding. Now, this is how the court decides an issue. So try to find out how the court decided on each one of these issues. So if you have 2 issues, you need to have 2 different issues. So, or 2 different holdings. So if this one was Miranda, right? Miranda. Issue number 1 was an issue with Miranda. Then holding should be describing what the court decided about issue number 1. So was Miranda read to the client? Well, the holding is yes. Miranda was read to my client. Or no, or whatever the case says. So holding, you should always have the same amount of these numbers under the holding as the numbers of issues, if that makes sense. So if there's 3 or 4 issues, then there should be 3 or 4 numbers under holding, because the court needs to decide on each one of those. Okay, your next section is going to be your longest section. I know, guys, it's long and boring. There's no real fun way of explaining this, but sometimes life isn't fun. Sorry, guys. But at least you have me trying to explain it to you. Okay, so 7 is going to be your longest section. This is going to be the analysis. Holy moly, my handwriting is not very good. Okay. / reasoning. There we go. It's actually better than a chalkboard. If I write on a chalkboard, it's a little harder for me. Anyways, this is the longest section. This is why the court decided, and the way it decided on a particular case. Now, it's hard for me to explain this here. You just have to read the case and read the case a couple times, and you'll find it actually in the case. Now, this is the basic 7 things that you'll have in every single case brief. Now, you could have additional stuff like dissenting opinions or concurring opinions. You could have technical definitions, if that comes into play. It doesn't. I mean, it doesn't really matter. This is kind of a personal. These are your notes. So for the most part, these are your notes on how to do stuff. So to start from the beginning, you have your citation, and that's the ALWD or Blue Book citation. You have the names, which is the plaintiff or the defendant. Just make sure you get the plaintiff and the defendant right. You have the facts of the case. What are the facts? What are the legal facts? What are the facts that matter? Out of the 15 pages you just read on this case, what are the, if you could sum it up within a few paragraphs, that would be great. A case citation, say on a 15-page case, legal brief, an actual brief should be only about 2 pages long, so it shouldn't be very long at all. So facts of the case, and then history. So what's the history of the case? A procedural history. Where did it come from? Where did this case? Did it suddenly pop up? No, it came from the lower case, the lower courts. So what did the lower courts decide? The issues. What are the issues that were raised? And if you have 2 issues, remember that the holding, which is what the courts decided on those issues, you should have the equal numbers of under holding as you do issues. And then you have your analysis and reasoning, which is why did the courts decide? Oh, let's back it up to holding really fast. These should be 1 sentences. So issues, was Miranda read to my client? Holding, the court, yes, the court decided that Miranda was read to the defendant. That's it. One sentence. Now the analysis and reasoning, that's where you go into a little bit more detail about the court's decision. Now I hope this helps. I hope it didn't confuse you. This is a pretty basic case brief. Don't get too scared. Just try it. At the 100 level classes and 200, the lower level classes, I want you just to recognize what a citation is. Actually read a case, be able to take out a citation from that case, take out the facts, the history, and actually put it onto a piece of paper. So don't get tripped up and don't think you have to write 45 pages. You don't. This should only be about a page to 2 pages at most. So keep it very basic. I hope this helps. And if it doesn't, then I'm sorry. And if I confused you, I'm sorry. I will think about how I can explain it a little bit different if it's a little confusing. If you are confused or if you have any questions, obviously feel free to contact me. I wish you the best and have fun citing your cases.